Hi, welcome to Mickey Car Beauty. I'm Mickey, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury beauty and luxury skincare. And today I am trying out for the first time the Pat McGrath Highlighter and Bronze Borealis quad, this beautiful quad I have on my eyelids, and then the highlighter. And so if you're interested to see this look, then keep watching. Hi beauty fam, I am finally getting around to filming my Pat McGrath video, which includes the new releases from her collection, which I picked up some from the VIB Sephora haul and then some from the Pat McGrath sale. And so these are the two eye quads that she came out for this fall, and then the Celestial Odyssey. So I thought I'd come on and do some swatches and then just do some Pat McGrath as well. But before I start, I was going to, I already did my base and my face. My base and my face. For my base, I started off with the Milk primer, and then under eye, the Chanel U, which are both gel products. I love it because my face is very sensitive and it's a very hydrating product. And then for the foundation, I ended up using my La Mer foundation. I love this foundation. I have it in Buff 23A. I think it just is Buff now. It doesn't have that number. I love this. It's pretty spendy, so I only bring it out when I'm feeling like I want to have a special, foundation. But I haven't used it in a while, and it's a great color for me. I think in the summer it was too light, and so now I'm starting to reach for it again because it's starting to be the right color for me. I'm also testing out this Kosas concealer in 6.2 N as in neutral, and so far I am loving it. I did not have to use any eye corrector, the Becca Cosmetics, for the color correcting, and it's because it has this really nice peachy undertone that reminds me a little bit about Pat McGrath. I think it's exactly my skin coloring, maybe a lighter, but it reminds me a lot of the color I used to use for NARS. And NARS no longer works for me. I think it's just because of my aging skin, but I love this. It reminds me of the pigmentation and of Pat McGrath, but not quite, but it's a nice in between, but I'm really enjoying that. Prime my eyes with the Fenty primer, powder down with Sisley, and I wanted to start using my Pat McGrath. I'm using the Divine Rose blush. I have not used this as much as the other blushes, so I just wanted to give this some love today. And on my cheeks, I already have the Tom Ford bronzer. I'm trying this technique of contouring or bronzing with a deeper Pat McGrath shade, and I have it in MD22. And I saw this from Alicia from Kinky Sweat, and so I tried doing some contour with this, and it was a little bit too warm for me still, but you can see like my face is pretty contoured and has some dimension. I went into this Smashbox contour bronzing highlighting kit. This contour kit, which has this contour color, but I think they say with contour you're supposed to use a gray color, but I think this is too light of a gray for me. So this might actually work, but I still think this is too light of a palette for me, but I'm just gonna try it out still. And so let me go in with this blush. Again, it's Divine Rose. I'm tapping some off. Today I really wanted to look at the Bronze Borealis quad, the highlighter. This is what Bronze Borealis looks like. Just looking at these, they look like really nice fall warm tone colors. So these are my kind of colors. I really like them. And I'm actually wearing a red shirt. So why don't I go ahead and swatch these? And right off the bat, I can say that this has kick up already, so it's pretty flaky. Oh, those are really pretty. Yes, those are nice deep colors for a medium skin tone. And so these are like colors that I definitely like when people think about like mauve neutrals, and I see them like Huda's palette and they're on the lighter side. I just think those are going to be too ashy for me. And so when I see this is kind of like my wheelhouse of my color wheel, because this actually will show up on my skin tone, which is medium tan. Right off the bat, I can feel like these don't necessarily feel like the regular Pat McGrath, but they're still good quality. So this is the second round. Like I could use these two to glam it up, or just this as the crease shade, obviously, and then this could be on the mobile lid. This could be paired together, or these two could be paired together. Or these two. So, I mean, it's not like showstopper shades like people usually think of Pat McGrath, but these are really beautiful. So my eyes are primed and prepped. And what I think I might do is actually do two different looks, like one on one eye and one on the other. Okay, so I'm going to take my Wayne Goss 18 brush and see how that builds up. So that's pretty pigmented already. So I'm just tapping off some excess. You can see there's some kickback. So I'm taking a rougher 21 brush, and it's a flat brush, which is great for laying down some shimmer shades. And this is that lighter color. It's kind of like a rose gold. There's definitely some kickback on it. Okay, so for sure there's some fallout. I don't know if you can see. Just taking a clean brush and trying to brush it away. I want to see if it makes any difference when I use my finger. Okay, there's more impact and there's still a lot of fallout. So what I'm going to do is take my Sisley powder, my loose powder, and just go into what I have here and putting it on my Wayne Goss airbrush and just laying it down. So knowing what I know now, I think I wouldn't use this all over my lid or use the Intensifies eyes to build it up. And so I don't really want to play with it. It's already getting crumbly. Can you see that? And I feel like it's going to fall apart, which I'm not really happy about. It's actually all over my shirt. Great. So what I'm going to do is take one of these pens, the Intensifies wand from Pat McGrath, and just run it along the mobile lid. And what I'm going to do is see if it makes any difference in packing on that color. I'm going to grab this shade again and see if with the Intensifies wand, if it helps with the application. Okay, most definitely it helps. So I think I'd recommend, if you do have the Intensifies wand, to lay that down before putting on this top shade, because there's a lot of fallout. What I'm looking for is the original brush for that crease shade, and just kind of blending the edges. And then dragging whatever remaining I have. And that's a pretty eye look. I could stop and just do that. I would like to take that color and just kind of patch it in the corner and see what happens. Just to deepen that area. Okay, it didn't add much other than just smoked out the look a little bit more. What I'm going to do is take this matte shade and run it underneath. because this one is so flaky, I think I might take this as my inner corner and see. And then taking that flaky shade again, but using it just to lay down color up here. Taking this pad. And what I can see already is that this quad is pretty flaky. Like this is the most flaky one, but can you see the kickback on that as well? And this is just my first impression and first use. There's a lot of kickback in the palette already. So this has the most kickback, and that you can see it's crumbling in the palette, and this one as well. Like even when I touch it here, I'm gonna smack it a little bit, that there's some fallout in this one as well. More than usual, because sometimes in her shimmer shades, they're usually more creamy and they don't fall apart that way. I'm also wondering, where is this made? It is a beautiful eye look. Okay, what I'm doing is taking the Sonia G Worker 2 brush, and I'm curious about this shade because that's really a shade I like. I'm wondering if I could just use that as a one and done. Okay, I'm taking a Sonia G Jumbo Blender into that same color. Little bit of fallout. Now I'm taking my finger, see how that lays down. It definitely lays down better with the finger, but it adds more pigment, but it's not like a huge difference in my opinion. Okay, taking that same shade, I'm gonna run it underneath. Okay, I finished the eye look, and I put on some Tom Ford liquid eyeliner and the Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara, which is my favorite mascara for making my eyelashes volumized and lift, and I consider this my going out mascara, if that makes sense. It's not my everyday mascara, but because it's so dramatic and has lots of volume, I like to use this for Pat McGrath and special events. So I have some thoughts about the palette, but we're going to continue. I wanted to check out the Pat McGrath highlighter. So this is the beautiful packaging. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this already from other content creators, or you might have it already. And the difference between this is that this is actually made in Italy, whereas that quad is made in the United States. So it comes in this beautiful gold packaging. And let's check it out. Wow, that's really beautiful. I do wonder if it's that gel formula. So that's what it looks like. I'm excited to try this. I'm wondering, it's going to be too warm, but it might be really great for my skin complexion. Usually use the Sonia G Detail Pro for my highlighting color, but let me just see if I can just swatch this a little bit. But I don't want to mess up the embossing. So let's see if I can go on the side. And that is just one little swatch on the side. So this is the highlighter. Nice, we'll see. I have some challenges with Pat McGrath highlighters. Often they're too, I don't know what it is about her formula. We'll see if this is different. I had heard that it's different. Sometimes her highlighters look too texturized on my skin, so we'll see. So I'm just tapping in a little bit. Okay, not bad. I'm just grabbing some on my finger and then putting some here. Nope, let's try this. I definitely like this highlighter more than any Pat McGrath highlighter powder highlighter I've tried. I don't think it's emphasizing my texture, which is really nice. Part of it is I just have to see the wear time as my oils go through. And I just might have to use this in the daytime because it's already evening that I'm filming and having time to play with this makeup. So I think we're going to try Velvet Decade because it's more of like a red brown. What I'm doing is grabbing some Viseart lip oil just to moisturize my lips because I want to see what this might look like as a stain instead of full-on matte because it might be too bold. Or we can do both just to see. But it's easier to start with a lip oil and then go in light and then go deep. Okay, so we're taking Velvet Decade. One of the reasons of why I love Lisa Eldridge's matte lipsticks, because if I put this on without the lip oil and just put it on full matte, it could get really vampy really quick. As you can see, like I'll do a really intense swatch so you can see like it can get that vampy. But because I don't want to compete with the eye look, I just used a light lip oil that didn't interfere with the actual color and then really used this lipstick as a lip stain. And that's the beauty of her lipsticks, is that they're so pigmented. And even with the pigments, depending on if you go heavy or light, it might look a little different. And even on people's skin tones. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop here with the look for Pat McGrath. So as you can see, I have just one kind of one and done, but I did put some highlights in here. The flaky one I put up here, and then the inner corner as well. And I actually do like this as a one and done. It was very easy. It didn't have much fuss. This one, because I used all 4 colors, it looks really beautiful. I'll get in close so you can see. Okay, I grabbed the Velvet Decade liner just because it's such a deep color. It needed some sort of liner. And what I'm doing is just blending it out. So it's a little bit more seamless even with the lip liner. Perfect. I think it looks beautiful. Okay. So as I was saying, I do like the one and done because it was easy and I can see some dimension. And as always with Pat McGrath, it always looks more beautiful in real life. So I could see myself reaching for this color. I have a lot of deep reds like this and plums in my wardrobe. And so this is perfect. Earlier on Instagram, if you're not following me there, you can check me out there. I had posted this new Guerlain Mad Eyes Contrast Shadow Duo, and it's a cream stick, 24-hour wear, water resistant, and it is supposed to be red plum. Let me tell the colors. It's red plum and a gold. Here is the plum color, and they said this is a red plum, and then there's like a bronzy color that you're supposed to kind of put over it as a layer. And I just find it really perplexing. Like, it wasn't a red plum. And even on my skin tone, when you rub it, like disperse it, it looks just like a plum brown. at most, but it's not a red plum. I think of like red plum as being something like deeper like this, like when you go to a plum, like to a store and get the fruit, like that's what it looks like, not this. And this hardly shows up. Moreover, I wore tested, I posted on Instagram why I didn't like it. It was just, it looked not so great on my eyes. And moreover, by the end of the night, it was flaking all over, and there were not even just chunks of glitter when I took off my makeup. My eyes were so irritated, I had to take out my contacts. I thought glasses would be fine. And it was irritating my eyes so much that I just had to take off the makeup, and I took off the makeup, and there were chunks of the actual pigment that had seemed to coagulate and fall into the glitter of here. Anyway, it was a hot mess. So I was kind of looking for a one and done. Creams are nice if they work, but that one didn't, so that is going back. But I do like this as a one and done. I think this is a really beautiful color. Do you see that? And I think this fall there were a lot of like mauve-y colors that came out with the Wayne Goss Tourmaline palette, the Natasha Denona Retro, which did not look like the original Retro, but it was definitely like mauve plum colors. And then we had the Viseart Cashmere palette, which I actually got for the Viseart sale, so I'll be doing a comparison. But I do love this because, can you see this shift? There's almost like a silver shift in this. And if anything, out of this entire quad, this is the favorite color of mine. Just because these other two, do you see there's chunks of it that are, they're pigmented, but they're really chunky. Wow, that kept on going. Do you see that? And this was the worst. It's such a pretty color. Like, this is my jam, these rose golds, because it's a champagne. It looks great on my warm tan skin, but it was such a hot mess of like crumbling. So I can even see it now. Like, this is the one that I thought would be the prettiest, and I like it, but she's a hot mess. She's like her hot mess best friend at the bar. This is the reliable one, Steady Netty. These two are a little bit more reliable. So yeah, I think you can definitely skip this palette. I'm gonna say that if you are looking for like the Pat McGrath experience, I don't know if these would be, this would not be the quad I would recommend. I think maybe Interstellar Icon from last year, and definitely Voyeuristic Vixen, I want to say. So if you were really wanting to try Pat McGrath, this is probably what I think is the best quad that came out this year. Well, I'm just gonna guess because I haven't tried the other one, but Voyeuristic Vixen, this is the one you want to try. This came out mid-year. This is actually made in Italy, and the way, if you're wondering why it looks new, it is new because I had this for quite a while, and what happened in the shipping, and I think I ordered it from Sephora, they were really rough with my package, so I think it was this most beautiful shade, this one here, no, or this one. One of these started falling out of the pan, and so it crumbled, and I lifted it up once in a video and it just fell out. So I replaced this quick because I think this is one of the best eye quads of Pat McGrath this year. If not, it's definitely going to make it into my top 10 of shadows this year. So, you know, if I would go back and get it, and if I would say if you love these tones, that you should get it. Maybe, you know, I'm a Pat McGrath fan, so I'm gonna get a lot, if not most of her eyeshadows. But I think, I don't know if I could really wholly recommend. I feel like the same quality we know Pat McGrath to be, meaning these shimmer shades are usually creamy, and I think there might be a quality control issue because of either the pandemic or these were made in the United States. So this is not representative of her line. I don't think this is a great quad. I would probably give this like a C, B, or B minus or C. But because I love these tones so much, like these are my jam, I'm gonna keep it, and I'm definitely gonna use it. Like, I already know that I'm gonna use the heck out of these two colors because this blended out beautifully, and I didn't have to work to make it work, if that makes sense. It's just, I mean, look at that. Look at that on my skin tone. It's just, oh, it's so beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. So the highlighter, I think it's probably the best powder highlighter that I've used of Pat McGrath's in a while, and I had heard or seen that probably this is a new formula. So do you all remember last year for her highlighter that she had the hockey puck, which everyone kind of went gaga over the packaging? I ended up selling it because of two things. It looked really beautiful on my nightstand or my vanity, and that's all where it stayed, because it was not convenient packaging. It was really beautiful, but I would have to like screw it on and off, and it wasn't it would stick a lot. Like it would stick on opening and closing, and that really bothered me because I'm trying to get ready. I don't want to have to deal with really fussy packaging. And the second, moreover, like the formula looked really not great on my skin tone. So it looked a little bit too rosy on my skin tone, and moreover, it looked like it texturized my skin, and it was not pretty. But this, I'm gonna put a little bit more on just to see what happens. I think this is gonna be a good formula. So let me grab some more of this. It's a swirl just to see. So that's a beamy highlighter. So this can definitely be built up for if you're going out on the town, but it doesn't build texture. I mean, you can see some of my texture, but not as bad as previous formulas. Just look like, can I take this highlighter and then use it for some of the shadow? Yes, definitely. So this could be used as an inner corner highlight. And I actually might use this in replace of that shade that has lots of fallout, because this is the highlighter right here, and this is the one that had a lot of fallout, but it's frostier white, even though it looks very warm in the pan. Do you see that? But it helps with the color pop. Do you see that? Yeah. So I just might end up using this, but I would have to have them like really close together. Anyway, I am surprised by this. I usually am not a fan of Pat McGrath highlighters, and this definitely a win. I'm really happy on this. I just didn't want to have a repeat of last year's highlighter. That's it. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and comment below. As always, be kind to yourself and others, and just be you. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.